What's up, Soul Family? Coming at you with another collective reading. This one's gonna be on... Oh, I grabbed two on accident. So we have purse. I'm assuming it has something to do with... Okay, pay attention to your finances. And then we have forest, which is muddled, unclear thinking. So I feel like those two cards kind of set the tone for the reading pretty clear. I'm gonna start doing tarot. If you ever want a one-on-one session, the first one's going to be 35 for the first 20 minutes. You can ask whatever questions you want. Or I can see what comes out, just kind of like how I do with these, and I can interpret. You can directly message me or do so at the link in my bio. So immediately with the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Wands, I feel like there's the energy of just being very mindful about how you approach whatever you're doing. And I say that because like when it comes to wands are like really passionate. It's like fiery energy. It's like the energy of like where you're kind of like chasing what you're passionate about, chasing kind of like what lights you up. And I think sometimes when doing that, we can get a little bit, I guess, enthralled with that path. So I think it's important to be mindful not to overinvest. I wouldn't say overinvest, but not to go too crazy and not to do a little too much while you are on that path, or like while you're trying to, birth your creation, or while you're trying to do what you're doing. I think it's important to be mindful because the Knight of Wands, especially because the cards were muddled thinking, and be mindful about your finances. And if these are the cards that are clarifying it, make me think that maybe you are chasing something that you're passionate about and birthing something. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you're definitely on a proper path. I think it's just one of those things to be careful about how you are approaching it. I don't think there's anything negative about what you're doing. It's just like a lot of times when cards pop up, it's not that we've done anything wrong yet. It's that we might fall into that if we were to continue acting in that way, or if we do not consider what we're going to do in the future. So I never think it's like anything that's happening right now. I'd like to think that it's a warning not to allow something to happen. And then especially since the muddled, unclear thinking came up with it as well, I'd like to think that the Queen of Cups and the Hierophant are calls to tame your emotions to the best of your capacity, sit down in the midst of all that's going on, and kind of redirect the flow of everything. So sometimes it's not easy to, and sometimes it can almost feel like you are fighting yourself to almost shift the thoughts that you're having as you're experiencing like anxiety or stress or anything like that. But I think it's really important to whenever we are able to do such, right? Sometimes we have to let those emotions flow, and we have to like let the current be what it is and just observe those emotions. But sometimes we're capable of redirecting that and putting it towards what we need to. In addition, like when it comes to the energy of the Hierophant to me makes me think of like order, structure, something that's more routine. So I'd like to believe that we're being called to maybe bring a little bit of that to our experience, especially if we're being called to be mindful about our finances. It's maybe be a little bit more budgeted, or maybe be a little more planned or calculated, or even just know like what bills are coming up and paying them in advance, or even putting like little bits of money to whatever you are trying to take care of, like little things like that. And to be honest, I'm really not feeling like this is going to be a long reading. I feel like sometimes readings are a little bit more straightforward. I'm going to see if I can pull like one more card and see what comes out. I think these are on top already. Yeah, those are the Knight and the Ace. Let me shuffle. Sometimes readings are just that simple and just that fast. It's just like a quick, hey, be mindful. You're good. Queen of Wands. So yeah, there's definitely the energy of maybe you are like definitely in the energy of just thriving, or because sometimes like there have been times, and I don't usually regret it, like whenever I have like those little moments like where I start to like buy lots of little things and trinkets and stuff that I like. But sometimes we can get, to the point where money can be thin or stretched. And typically speaking, as long as you are mindful of whatever you're doing and like the flow of your money and stuff like that, then you're good. And I like to think like whenever you think about the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands, they tend to have a certain flow of, or a certain level of mastery of knowing how to be resourceful and use like what is coming in, be it energetically, and money is an energy to a certain degree. So it's like trust that. It's like continue to embody that Queen of Wands energy. Continue to trust the decisions you're making and be confident as you are navigating like whatever you're navigating. And I think you'll be okay. And then with the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Swords. So in this context, I'd like to think that something is ending and something is beginning. So maybe you're shifting out of what this negative energy was. You're shifting out of maybe what was lack, and having to be so mindful of your finances and not having to deal with as much of this energy of being restricted. With the Ten of Swords, many times it's an ending, but it's also so many times shifting towards something better, shifting towards something changing. It's like where one door closes, something else opens. And maybe this is even a sign that there is some kind of end coming up. You know, if you've been feeling, and I don't ever get anxious whenever I give a warning, but people sometimes feel things intuitively. So if you've been feeling intuitively like you need to leave your job or something's like off, then maybe this is a sign to be mindful of that. Be careful about your finances and move before such happens. But aside from that, peace and blessings, you guys, and hope you have a great day. And when I say, you know, be mindful of what happens, I mean, when you're at a job, you can see red flags. We see red flags in how they treat us, how they treat other people, how they even deal with the customers, and how they talk when they don't think other people are around. So if you see red flags, just be mindful of it. That's it. That's it. You all you got to do is pay attention to the signs as they come and keep it pimping.